The Apartment from 1960, directed by none other than Billy Wilder,
Oh
starring
yeah,
Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, Fred MacMurray. Two Fred MacMurray movies back to back and two Billy Wilder movies back to back, I
that's
guess, for
right.
me.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
Double indemnity in this one.
Yeah.
I guess for me, this movie kind of encapsulates a lot of the themes that we've been talking about, which
Hmm.
is you're lonely, you're not really prioritizing yourself, but you're also making bad choices that perpetuate your loneliness. Um, so yeah, it sort of, combines all of those themes for me. But on top of that, I mean, this is once again, one of those
Yeah,
masterpiece
one of the greats.
movies, one of the
Yeah.
greats that'll always live. And yeah, from head to toe, it's just the world and the detail and the performances and the writing, the direction, filmmaking, all of it is just, so strong. And which is why I watched this actually many, many times. It's one of the few movies on this list actually, because they're all kind of movies about loneliness.
Right, right.
They're not easy to go back and watch, and maybe some I wouldn't again for perhaps. But this one I have watched many, many times, and that's sort of kudos to Billy Wilder that
Hmm.
it's so funny and lighthearted and real and relatable, but yet has such depth to it,
Oh yeah.
which is such a hard balance to strike. But that is his signature attribute, I think, when I think
Hmm.
about Billy Wilder. But curious if I'm sure you'd watched this before.
Yeah, this Billy Wilder's big he's in my pantheon of my favorite
Yeah.
directors, and this is a film that I is a masterwork. He's had several of them, but this movie is just incredible on all the things you touched on. But I was really paying a lot of attention this on this rewatch too, like the loneliness factor, and it was but obviously it was obvious, when I first saw it back in I think in college early on. It was one of the later Wilder movies that I came to. That both the two main leads, they're lonely, and they're being taken advantage of because of that. And it's
Oh
like a
yeah.
feeling of loneliness that you have can like allow others to kind of use that against you. And you just get run over constantly, not literally, but
Yeah.
like they're
No,
abusing
they're
him
being
for
pushed
using his
over.
apartment.
Yeah.
She's basically being used around the office by all these guys, and they have no intention of actually having a real relationship with her. So it's and when you feel lonely, it's easy to be taken advantage of. Is sort of what I was thinking this time.
Mhm.
Is that a theme you were
Mhm.
picking up on too?
Oh, totally. And it perpetuates, right? Like I was saying, that if you don't prioritize yourself and then you made bad decisions and then people take advantage of you, you become a
Yeah.
doormat,
Yeah.
the whole cycle then repeats.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a feeling, it's a hard trap to get out of for
Yeah.
sure. I think in my life, I've been the loneliest when, like you were saying with the previous movie, where I've actually been lucky to have a lot of people and things to do around me. But it's when I myself have trapped myself in some sort of a trap, not to use the trap word trap again. And I think that part really resonates with me, that how you can sort of find yourself locked up in that way. And then people just keep using you until
Mm-hmm.
you really have to call it and make some serious changes. And that's sort of the other beauty of this movie, is that you really see the arc of these people
Yes,
throughout the
definitely.
movie. And it's done in a way, earned way, to use that word again,
Mm-hmm.
because changes in life and changes in your own personality just don't happen, just suddenly. You try a little, you fail, it's like one step forward, three steps backward. And I think you
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of that, especially with Shirley MacLaine's character. You almost think that she's out of it, she's good, and then you're like, oh, you're back with him again for New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's what
sad.
happens in real
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
But
it
then
does.
something really strikes her and she just leaps out of that place and is back with him, Jack Lemmon's character. And even that reunion is not, some head over heels, heightened, oh, I've been waiting for you in my life sort of thing. No, they just sit together, have some champagne, and play some cards.
I love
And
the ending.
I
Yeah,
just love that. That's
incredible.
sort of what happens. And that's the genius of the movie. It's real and relatable, but also totally cinematic and magical.
Exactly. No, it does both of those things. And it could have easily gone I guess I'll use the word cheesy, like the cheesy romantic route. They're like a last
Right.
chance Harvey. Oh, now we're like in love, and that's what helped both of us. I mean, you assume maybe they start dating or they're maybe together at the end, but at
Maybe
that point, the fact that they both helped each other overcome that cycle that they were stuck
that's
in
the main thing.
is the main thing. Exactly. That's like, okay, well, they both did this for each other. And if they stay together, great, maybe if they continue to help each other, but they've already done what they, I think, need to do in each other's lives. And it could just be
Hmm.
that that's it. And that, maybe they never like, are romantically involved after that.
Hmm.
Who knows? But it doesn't, you don't need to know that. And I like how the movie ends in that way is such a great ending. Very
Totally.
Very Billy Wilder too. Like he never usually
Yeah.
likes having sort of a very like, yeah, kind of cut and dry ending on his
Yeah.
films.
Yeah. And that's sort of the other thing as well is that sometimes, at least I've experienced this when I've been lonely, you're sort of looking consciously or unconsciously for like that sure thing or person. But the point is that if you just prioritize yourself and make room for somebody else to enter, even if they're there just for like a short period of time or a temporary period of time, that's okay because that
Right.
can really do wonders. We're well, to me, that's one of the beauties of humanity is like you make these different relationships regardless of for what time they might be relevant in your life, but they all add up. They're all part of your story and your narrative, and you kind of really see that with these people, like you said.
Right. Oh, definitely. And that's again where like that feeling of loneliness can be you feel like you're not doing that and meeting those people and
Yeah.
it's just down to you in your own life. And that is a very lonely and sad feeling. I mean, we're social creatures. We're
Mm-hmm.
meant to interact with one another and help each other and help each other in many different ways. And that's another reason why I think a lot of when I was looking at all these films, both your list and mine, the lessons in this is just you gotta, I guess there was some mental health with some of the characters, so that is a whole different story. But if you are just sometimes feeling down for certain periods of time in your life, just kind of put yourself out there. And it's
Yeah.
because it's not necessarily just you that has to overcome that feeling. It's you meet somebody, even if it's just a conversation or a weekend or just something can like dig you out of that, and then boom, like now
Mm-hmm.
you're throwing the key in the guy's face, and they're never using your apartment again.
I totally agree. Can I just say also on a tangent, like that office party is insane.
Back in the day, they used to have budgets and they'd spend it on their employees, and we live in a time now where they don't do that anymore. But
I
that looked
mean, that
fun.
aside, though, like the revelry that's happening in this office party
Oh, yeah, yeah.
is
People,
just
yeah,
unbelievable to me, where people are making out in corridors and
yeah. People
corners.
used to
And
party.
I
People used to
guess,
party, and now they don't anymore. And maybe that's why, as a society, we're a lot lonelier.
although, I mean, in the office context, the whole thing, I had forgotten about that whole scene. And when I started, oh my gosh, I remember this and remember, thinking about like what a weird world. I don't know how much of that is true. It probably is true, I
I feel, yeah,
suppose.
it was pre HR departments. I
I
think
guess.
maybe that's the difference. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's hard to use the word joy, but this movie is joy to
it's
me
funny. It's a
in its
funny
sad
movie.
way. I don't
Right.
know.
No,
It's
I think it's
yeah.
very funny. And that's Jack Lemmon is just so good in this. I mean,
Oh,
just an
yeah.
incredible performance where he is he's playing a sad sack, but
Yeah.
it's in a way where you feel bad for him, but it's not like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, I wouldn't want to be around him. He's a cool kind of guy. He
Yeah.
just is lonely, so he's being taken advantage of, but he does such a good job and keeps it funny. Um,
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah. And so is Shirley MacLaine. Like just the
Yes.
way
Yes.
her face is lit, and the way she kind of even shows up in those first scenes, she kind of looks like, and maybe we're seeing her from his point of view, and maybe that's why she's lit up the way she's lit up. And that's almost like a trick. Like you don't really see that this person from the inside would be that lonely and that sad and making those
Mm-hmm.
choices because she seems so effervescent and light and amazing
Mm-hmm.
that seems like the happiest person there might be.
Yeah.
So they pull a trick on that, but this is true in real life. People who
Mm-hmm.
are captivating and charming and attractive and what have you, you never know what's going on inside, actually.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Totally. Yeah, you never know how lonely people are. So yeah, always kind of be open to help, be nice to other people and helping them, because you never know how lonely they might be feeling. Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now, or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.